Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Revelation 11:27, where we speak the truth and nothing but the truth, and where we allow you to be yourself. What an amazing thing! Like a place where you can be yourself. I wish that was a thing. Like, oh, welcome to Walmart, where you could be yourself. Like, welcome to McDonald's. Come eat and where you could be yourself. Look, guys, I actually found this one yesterday or 2 days ago. And these two I found today. I don't know if I mentioned to you guys today, but earlier in the morning, first thing in the morning when I went to walk Lucas, my dog, there was 13 vultures across the street. I counted them. And then I had a very vulnerable moment with them. Because you know what vultures represent, right? They represent death. And what do vultures do? Vultures eat the dead animals. Vultures, I mean, they can eat live animals too, but it's not really their thing. They cleanse the environment. They cleanse this world from the dead. So I got closer to them and I sat next to them. And I started to just get emotional and I started to cry. And it was so special because I just thanked them, because I know how much individuals, wandering souls, karmics, I know how much they've been trying to cause some type of imbalance in my life. Let's just call it like that. And they obviously have not gotten that, and they never will. And they should know that, because whatever they sent to me has backfired. So I just had a little moment to the vultures, because they're friends with death, like me. I'm friends with everything, right? With the heavens and also with the underworld, and both protect me. That is why I'm chosen. And it took me a while to be like, okay, like, thank you, underworld, for protecting me. Thank you, because I thought that was like, that was another thing I had to heal from. Being okay with working in the dark as well. Because as long as I'm not harming anyone, and as long as I have the powers to help others, especially as long as I have the powers to get into the world that these low vibrational people, like my family and other people, get into, if I could get into that world and, command the dead to do things for me based on my spiritual ranking, based on my royal bloodline, then I will do so. To not only protect and defend myself, but also protect and defend others. Especially against these people that think they own the underworld. And no, girl, that's why you're sick. And that's why your death is near. And that's not a threat, right? Because I would never hurt anyone. I would never, especially physically or spiritually. But what I will do is defend myself and defend others. But that's not why we're here today. We're going to check on the energy and see what we need to know, see what we need to see what we need to learn. Right, Spirit. Let us know what we need to see, what we need to know. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I hope you're staying motivated. I hope you're staying enthusiastic and passionate for life. Because remember, when you stay in that frequency of love, of excitement, of happiness, like that's how you attract miracles, and that's how amazing things happen to you. I don't know why lately my cards have been thrown on the floor, but I already know why. It's for a reason. So we got the Nine of Wands, right? We got the Nine of Wands, which, come on, the Wands has everything to do with the fire. Ooh, did you see how the flame just moved when I went like this? And it didn't move right now, see? But the Knight of Fire, right? The fire has everything to do with protecting, with, with courage, with passion. So with the Nine of Wands, you have the ability to protect whatever it is. You have all that fire, and you have the ability to set things on fire, right? So maybe you've had to find the courage within yourself lately to protect something that means so much to you, right? And finding that fire within you to protect what you love was not just because, no. It was a test of faith. It was a test from God, from the universe, to see if you were going to use your powers, your ability to protect something that you love so much. Or to see if you were just gonna let others take it. Or to see if you were just gonna give up. But whatever you did, I don't know what you did, let me tell you that, right? But whatever you did, you brought down judgment. Whatever you did caused a big eruption in the whole universe. I don't know what you did, I'm telling you. But whatever you did, it was big. And that wasn't just anything. That was a test from God, from the universe, to see if you were going to be able to do that. To see if you were going to be able to stand in your power and protect what's yours. Because maybe in the past, you just sat back and you allowed maybe fear to prevent you from taking action. But not this time, right? You've learned something recently where, come on, look at the guy there. Protect, he's like, you ain't taking this. This is mine. And judgment. Look at the angels blowing the horns, and the people, us humans. Thank you. Saying thank you. But let's get a little bit more of this energy. Okay, I was going to say, what is this judgment spirit? So whatever you did, it's like you're going to get publicly recognized for this. Whatever you did was something huge. It changed things around. Whatever you did got someone else. 8 of Swords and 10 of Wands. Look how intense this energy is. Not only are they blocked mentally, tormented now, mentally, but also physically. They are, whoever was on the other side of this judgment is feeling like this. Not only mentally blocked and tormented, but also physically burdened. Maybe with the same burdens that they were trying to put you on, right? Look, if you wouldn't have stood in your power and you would have allowed these people, that you would have been feeling like this. But thank God you didn't, right? You stood in your power, you were persistent, and not only did you pass a test from God, a test from the universe, but you break down judgment, right? And this is going to be seen publicly by in the community, by your friends, probably even in the TV and the news. But this is how the other people are feeling, how the karmics are feeling, how my family is feeling, how people that worked against you are feeling. And they deserve this. They deserve this. You know why? Because if they didn't get this, you would have gotten this. And you probably didn't do anything to deserve to feel like this. So, good thing. What else do we gotta know about this energy spirit? Yeah, these people are just, yikes, fucked up. But that's just what you get when you play with God's children, right? When you play with God's blessings, when you try to steal blessings from people, when you try and when you try and change what is supposed to be. And the Two of Wands. What is energy spirit? We got the Emperor. So, Emperor, this is you, right? I'm talking to a masculine, a male, a man. Because you brought this judgment, it's like God is now giving you the opportunity to have a second chance at life. Away from all that toxicity. It's like you won't even have to feel any of these people's burdens, any of these people's karma. No. That is a second chance at life. You get to go on and enjoy life. And I hope that you understand what these people are going through, because if you ever think about speaking to these people again, if you ever think about going back to these people again, you will also reap their own karma, which is why it's so important to completely separate yourself from people, places, and things that no longer serve your highest good, especially if these people are serving karma currently, which they are. Come on. There's death in the air. Thank you for that, Spirit. And not only did I see 13 vultures this morning, but when I went to go, when I walked to go get Lucas's food, on the way back, there was 13 crows in the air. Look, you are the magician, right? You were able to change your whole life around. You were able to use all of the elements, the fire, the air, the earth, the water. And not only use them, but you're now able to understand them. And you're able to manifest through that. Like whatever situation arises in your life right now, you can handle that by using more or less fire, more or less water, more or less earth, more or less air. But not only are you the magician, look, didn't I just say there's death in the air? There's death and rebirth. Meaning that your whole life just change. You probably have a new consciousness, right? You have a new perspective on everything. That is so beautiful, right? The old version of you, meaning the way that you would, meaning the excuse me, meaning the way you used to look at life, whatever perspective you had on everything has changed, right? You had to let your certain personality traits, certain behaviors that you had to let that die off. You had to let that go. And you were able to do that because you were being persistent, right? You continued to not allow individuals or situations bring you back to that old self. You continue to try and think of new ways to get through situations instead of falling back to old habits. That is amazing. That is beautiful. That is why you have judgment. That is why you're allowed a second chance at life. That is why you're an emperor. You're in emperor energy right now. Not only emperor energy, but you're the magician. Look how this guy is just controlling the water. And this was the death that you needed, right? You needed to let go of certain thoughts, certain ways of thinking, which is equals consciousness, right? You had to let that consciousness die off. You had to let it go. Whatever you probably learned throughout your life, you had to accept that it was not, that everything was not 100%. And most of the things that you learned were things that were passed down by your family members that they don't even know where it came from. And they haven't even sat down and reflected and see if that's what they really believe in, right? But you are a chosen one too. Come on, you're the emperor. You have the ability to bring down righteous judgment. And you did that. You did that because you stood up for what you believed in. You stood up for what you loved. And you had the courage to continue to stand up for it, regardless of how many people were trying to get in the way of it, regardless of how many people kept on tempting you to go back. No, you said no. And because you were persistent, because you continued to do the right thing, you passed the test. And that has allowed you to have a new rebirth, which is what I said initially before this card even came out, that you have a second chance at life. And that is what everyone gets when they awaken. You have a second chance at life. These people don't. And you want to know why they don't? Because they've had many chances to reflect, to stop whatever it is that they were doing, to give back whatever money was owed to me, to stop illegally spying, to stop committing all of these crimes. These people had many chances, many months, even many years to do that. And no, they always thought they were more powerful than God. They always thought that they were going to get away with it. And look, like I said, there's death in the air. But I'm so happy for you, right? And I think we were speaking about, like, on one of the videos that I did today, we were speaking about the dark night of the soul. And when you come out of that dark night of the soul, and you have spent time with those emotions, and you've understood them instead of just walking away, no. The next day, not literally the next day, but the dark night of the soul can take a few nights of you trying to understand those feelings. And those nights are so dark and sad because you don't have no one to call. Be like, yo, this is what's up with me. No, you did that by yourself, and that is amazing. That has allowed you, maybe today you feel the rebirth. Maybe today you feel the energy shift. That is beautiful, because now you get to enjoy life to the fullest. I always think about this, like, imagine if you enjoyed to travel, imagine if you enjoyed meeting new people, imagine if you enjoyed trying new foods and trying new things before, right? Imagine how it would feel like now that you're spiritually awakened. Imagine how it would feel to really enjoy those things. It's like you will be able to be more in the moment. You'll be able to enjoy the little things in life. You'll be able to enjoy it to the fullest, any moment that you spend. And that is amazing. So congratulations on this beautiful rebirth. Not everyone, let me tell you, I'm so proud of you. Not everyone has a rebirth. Not everyone lets go of their ego and lets go of saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm good, I don't need to change. Not everyone is able to admit to themselves what it is they need to change. And even if they do admit that to themselves, not everyone is willing to work with those feelings, to work with those emotions, to completely let go of that old mentality, of that old consciousness, and allow for the new mentality and allow for the new consciousness to come through. And look, if you want to look at it in a scientific level, you are slowly creating new neural pathways for your neurons, right? For the cells in the brain to create new roads, to create new highways. And when those new roads, new connections are made in the brain, that allows for new thoughts to be produced. And when a lot of new thoughts are produced, that's when you obtain a whole new consciousness. And you jump from the 3D consciousness, which is what most people, and I'm not saying that in any rude way, which is what a lot of people in this 3D life have, to a 5D consciousness, which is where most spiritually awakened people are at. That is amazing. That is beautiful. Pat yourself on the back. But yeah, this concludes today's reading. This is so beautiful. Congratulations on your death and rebirth. I kind of want to sing happy birthday to you. What else do we gotta... No, this ends right here. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of anyone that is willing to grow and make themselves better. Yeah, I'm proud of you.